Guess where we're going today? We're going to Disney World. And guess what we're going to do there? We're going to drink. Cocktails in Disney World, two of my favorite things. Hi, I'm Kim. I live in South Florida, and I am passionate about travel, and I am equally passionate about travel planning. My friends have always asked me to help them plan their vacations, look into hotels, look into flights, cruises, different itineraries, because they know that I have a passion for it. So much so that I actually became a certified travel agent. I just want to point out that this video has absolutely nothing to do with my travel business. I really work with more friends and family and locals. Vacations can be expensive, and so if any information that I have can make their vacation a little bit less stressful, a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, then I am all for it. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm married. I have two children. They are 17 and 23, and we have been lucky enough to travel to many, many different countries, but where we travel most often is within our home state, Florida. And one of the places that we go the most in Florida is Disney World. It is no exaggeration for me to say that I have been at Disney probably over 24 times in the past 15 years. And we go to Disney over and over again for several reasons. One is it's an easy trip for us, so it's a very easy place for us to go for a long weekend. Second, we have children, as I mentioned, and when they were younger, they loved to go to Disney World. They still do, but when they were younger, they really loved it. And lastly, we are DVC members, Disney Vacation Club members. We have been taking our kids to Disney World since they were temperamental toddlers, and there is one common denominator in every single trip, and that is at some point, Mama needs a drink. In my opinion, the happiest place on earth is just a little bit happier when you add alcohol. It's my opinion. Also, we are Disney fanatics. I love Mickey, I love Disney, I love everything about it. I'm definitely a Disney person. So today, I'm going to tell you my 8 favorite places to get cocktailed at Disney World. So if that sounds interesting, please keep watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I am a brand new YouTube channel, but I really want to create a channel that really helps people have the best vacation ever. I'm going to be focusing a lot on Florida travel, Disney specifically, also the Keys, other areas, cruising out of Florida, so Caribbean cruising, and also just some fun vacation planning videos. So if you would consider subscribing, I would love to have you as part of my family or squad, if the kids still say squad, I'm not sure. Anyway, so let's get into it. The places that I'm going to mention, I have been to multiple times, so I didn't just get information off of the internet. I have actually been there. Secondly, they all serve beer, liquor, and wine. So if you're a wine person, they've got wine. If you're a beer person, they've got beer. And if you're a hard liquor person, they have you covered too. Most of them do allow children, but if they allow children, that doesn't mean that they allow children at the bar area, with one exception, which I will tell you about later. And also, all of these places have some sort of first come, first served seating, meaning you don't necessarily have to have a reservation. Some of these places do take reservations. They are restaurants, but they all have some sort of dedicated area where you don't have to have a reservation, and you might be lucky enough to snag a stool. So with that being said, let's jump into my number 8 pick. Let's start with the Disney Boardwalk and the Abracadabra Bar. It's a very clever name. This is just a really, really cool place. It has kind of a magician, Houdini, fortune teller vibe. It's very Disney themed, in my opinion, and that's the reason why it's number 8 on my list. Also, we stay at the Boardwalk Resort fairly often, and when we do stay there, we do tend to hang out at the Boardwalk, and in my opinion, it is the coolest place to have a cocktail on the Boardwalk. They do serve food here, mostly like appetizers, that sort of thing. I have personally never eaten here, but I have heard from a couple friends that the truffle fries there are awesome. So if you like truffle fries, you might want to give that a try. On their menu, they say they specialize in worldly wines, baffling brews, and curious cocktails. So they have some very fun themed cocktails. Also, children are allowed, but it really has more of an adult vibe. So I wouldn't bring any, rambunctious youngsters there. It really is kind of more of a chill all adult place, but they do allow children. They have a bar and they also have some tables. It's located right near the Flying Fish restaurant, by the way. It can get crowded, but if you go in more of the off times, you can get very, very lucky and get a bar stool. I have mixed feelings about the Abracadabra, and that is because I have received some absolutely great service there and had the most amazing time, and I've also had some subpar experiences where the staff didn't seem quite as excited to be there. But when I have had a good time, I have had a very good time, and the theming alone makes this a must visit if you are in the boardwalk area. Speaking of their cocktails, I just wanted to read a couple of the descriptions that they have on their menu. They have the Conjurita, which is a colorful margarita that never reveals its secrets, and a Seashore Sweet, which is a cotton candy creation dedicated to two boardwalk beauty queens. I don't know who these beauty queens are, so I'm going to have to figure that out. If anyone knows, please leave it in the comment section. But as I said, based on atmosphere alone, Abracadabra deserves a spot on my list. Number 7, let's jaunt over to Animal Kingdom and Nomad Lounge. Nomad Lounge is awesome. It's located near Tiffin's restaurant, and you can just go to the host or hostess and put your name in the virtual queue and then just return at your assigned time. They have a really nice porch seating area that's covered from the sun. They've got fans and couches. They also have some really cool specialty cocktails, and they also have a lot of really unique mocktails. They probably have the most extensive and interesting mocktail list that I've ever seen at Disney. I think that's great, for the kids to have something different other than Coke and Sprite. Also, if you're traveling with an adult who doesn't drink, I can't relate personally, but if you are, there is definitely something interesting and different for them to try. They also have food. But again, it's more of in my opinion, you can definitely have a meal there, but I think it's better for more of appetizers or to share a couple small plates. Nomad Lounge has a very cool international theme. It has a very cool international feel. So if you do go there and you are seated on the porch, make sure that you take a walk, use the restroom, walk around the restaurant, and just kind of check it out. It's a very cool atmosphere. So I'm going to tell you about one of their cocktails and one of their mocktails. They have a Night Monkey, which is dark rum, guava puree, coffee simple syrup, and lime juice with a hint of cilantro. My husband had this last time we were there and he loved it, and I had a sip and it was delicious. One of their mocktails is the hibiscus henna, and this is a watermelon, hibiscus, and lime juice topped with soda water. My daughter, when she was there last time, she had one of their mocktails. It was just watermelon puree with Sprite, but it was so delicious and refreshing, and it was just something, just something a little bit different, and she was actually excited about it. So that was very, very cool. Animal Kingdom can be crowded and hot just like all of the other Disney parks, but I will tell you, every time I go to Nomad Lounge and I just sit down, I kind of have that moment. It's kind of a little respite in the midst of all the craziness. If you've never been there, definitely give it a shot. Stop by early in the day, find out how long the virtual queue is, put your name in, and then go back and have a cocktail when it's your time. And then, head out to go ride Mount Everest. This is my dog Bimini, so another one of my favorite places to go to. It's in the Bahamas. If you've never been, check it out. If you see her in the background, she's just hanging out with me. So let's sashay on over to my next pick, and this is at Disney Springs. Disney Springs is awesome. If you have not been there recently, they have done a major, major upgrade. It used to be called Downtown Disney, and back in the day, they had Pleasure Island, so adults could go there without kids, and they could just, get hammered. But I have very good news for you, and that is you can still get hammered at Disney Springs. And one of my favorite places to have a cocktail there is Cityworks Eatery and Pour House. This is a relatively new spot, and it's located near the old Cirque du Soleil. I don't know if there's going to be a new Cirque du Soleil. I think there is, but I don't know for sure. So anyway, you can't even really see it when you're looking down the street. You have to kind of round the corner. This is a great addition to Disney Springs, in my opinion, because they have an absolute mammoth bar, probably the biggest one at Disney Springs. This place is perfect for beer connoisseurs. They have 80 to 90 different beers on tap, which made my husband very, very happy. And the bartender at the time was happy to give him a sample of a few so he could decide what he wanted. So if you don't know, ask if you can maybe have a sample. This is also, in my opinion, the place at Disney to go to watch sports, because they have really high quality TVs everywhere. And so no matter where you're sitting at the restaurant, you're going to be able to see the TVs. And for a football girl like myself, you know I'm going to be there in the fall. They serve kind of elevated sports bar food, if that's the thing. I might have just made it up, but it's traditional food that you would recognize, but they give it kind of a very interesting twist. So if you are a sports fan and you are looking to see a specific team, I would recommend Cityworks, because they are likely going to have it on, because they have so many TVs there. And also, not a lot of people know about Cityworks yet. I mean, many do, but many don't. I was actually in Orlando about a month ago, and I was talking to a friend of mine who's a local, and she had no idea it had even opened. So just walk down like you're going to Cirque du Soleil and kind of veer left, and you'll run right into it. It's a really cool spot. It has a great, fun, lively vibe. Children are, of course, welcome there, not at the bar, but there's plenty of tables, and it's definitely worth a spot on my list. For my next pick, we are going to stay at Disney Springs, and we are going to talk about Splitsville Luxury Lanes, which is near the House of Blues. It's a bowling alley. They have bowling there, but it's also a very large 2-story restaurant and bar. They have good food there. It's kind of sports bar food, but they also have sushi. Random, but if you have a sushi lover with you, that's a good place to go. And the reason this is on our list is because if there's a line at the hostess stand, maybe to check in or to see if you can bowl, just bypass it. Act like you own the place. Skip the hostess stand, turn left, and go up the escalator to the second floor. And up there you will find a very nice big bar with comfortable seating, and one of the most interesting things about it is that they allow children to sit at the bar. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't think that's a Disney policy. I've never seen children at any other bar, but at Splitsville, they can sit there and have a meal with you. They can have a non-alcoholic beverage. But this is a great tip, because if you are at Disney Springs with a child and you need to have a break, or you're just hungry and you want somewhere comfortable to sit down, go to Splitsville, go to the second level, and check out the bar and see if there's seating. In my experiences, the bar is rarely full. This is actually one of my family's favorite Disney insider secrets, so I'm not even that comfortable sharing it with you, but since we're now friends, here's my secret. Use it, enjoy it. For my next pick, let's jaunt over to Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is super popular right now because of the Star Wars mania and all of the new attractions there. So that can mean long lines in the Florida heat. And when you are ready to just chill out and cool off and take a break from all the rides, I have the perfect spot for you, and that is Baseline Tap House. Baseline Tap House is near Muppet 3D Vision, and it's a kind of a cute pub. They specialize in California beers and wines, but they do have a full liquor bar. As I mentioned, all the places that I talk about today do serve liquor also, in case you need a shot. Shot. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if Disney does shots. I've never seen anybody have shots at Disney. If you've seen where they serve shots, drop a comment. Baseline Tap House is phenomenal. First of all, it's sheltered from the sun somewhat, so they have outdoor seating and kids can sit outdoors. They can sit at any available table at the Baseline Poorhouse, and it rarely has a long line. I've been there maybe once where I had to stand in line for maybe 20 minutes. Once I've gotten through the line, I've never once had any problems getting seating. They do beer flights, and you can add hard cider to your beer flight, so keep that in mind if you're sharing one and maybe somebody wants to try the cider. You can actually pick hard cider as one of your choices. They also have somewhat unique beverages for kids. My daughter really likes their wild strawberry lemonade. So again, just something a little bit different and very refreshing. They serve snacks here. They have a really good Bavarian strawberry and pretzel, and they also have a decent charcuterie plate. They do not take reservations at all, but like I said, I've never really waited very long, and it is just the perfect spot to just relax before you go head off to the Tower of Terror or the Rock and Roller Coaster. Definitely worth a visit in my opinion. For my next pick, we're going to go to Wilderness Lodge, and this is a relatively new discovery for me, which I'm actually a little irritated about because I have been to the Wilderness Lodge a few times to eat at Whispering Canyon or whatever, and I did not know that this place existed. It's Geyser Point Bar and Grill. It's located near the pool area, but it's a little bit secluded. It's right on the lake, and it's surrounded by trees, and when you're there, you really can't see anything Disney. It just feels like you're in this peaceful wooded area. It's so picturesque, and it is a gem. I fell head over heels in love with this place when we were staying at Wilderness Lodge for a week, and I went there every single day with my husband. They have tables so you can eat there. Of course, it's kid friendly. As far as I know, they do not take reservations. They have a bar area which is not kid friendly, but they have my favorite cocktail that I have had at Disney World, and that is their sangria. It is so good and so refreshing, and as I mentioned earlier, I am more of a wine girl. If I didn't mention that earlier, I am more of a wine girl. I don't know if you can tell. This cocktail was so refreshing in the Florida heat. I would always get one while I was laying by the pool, and it's called the Cascadia Sangria Cocktail, and it's made with black cherry vodka, lime juice, and orange juice, and it's topped with Columbia Crest Merlot. It is so good and refreshing. I actually want one right now. What really blew me away about this place is just how stunning it is. It is gorgeous. In my opinion, one of the prettiest spots at Disney. It's worthy to go down there, have a drink, maybe eat some food if you like, take some pictures, take some selfies, but this place is a gem. A drink with a view? Yes, please. Speaking of beautiful waterfront bars, that brings me to my next pick, and that is the Boathouse at Disney Springs. Probably one of my favorite restaurants at Disney. They have a bar inside with TVs, and they also have a waterfront bar in the back that is right on the lake, and that's where they house the antique boats. It is definitely worth a visit, especially if you're with youngsters who are crazy about boats. Boathouse is super, super popular. They do take reservations for their tables, but it is my favorite spot for day drinking. Any day drinkers out there? Just me? I love to day drink. I mean, not in real life, but on vacation, yeah, I would love to have a couple cocktails at like 11 a.m. And the Boathouse is the perfect spot, particularly their outdoor bar. It tends to be much less crowded at lunchtime. You're overlooking the lake. You can see Saratoga Springs. You can see parts of Disney Springs. You can see the people on the cool little boats, driving around. It is a beautiful, beautiful spot to have a couple bloodies and some oysters. My husband and I have a tradition. Every Thanksgiving, we go to Disney for a week. And on Thanksgiving Day, he and I go to the Boathouse. We sit outside. It tends to be cooler in November. We drink Bloody Marys, and we talk about everything that we're thankful for. And this is literally a tradition we look forward to every single year. If you are into day drinking, or even if you're not, if you're at Disney Springs and looking for a spot to have lunch, go to the outdoor bar, see if you can snag a stool. If you're with kids, see if you can get a table, and just sit and enjoy the views. Next, we're going to go to the Polynesian and talk about Trader Sam's Grog Grotto. Trader Sam's is odd. It's odd, and it's awesome. It's probably the most awesome tiki bar I have ever been to, and I love tiki bars. Now, some of you may be thinking, isn't that closed? It actually recently reopened, and on the website it says they're open from 3 p.m. until midnight. Now, one of the things that makes this bar so weird is that the entrance is, number one, hard to find, and it is completely unremarkable. It's located off of the lobby area, and there's usually a cast member standing in front of a black door. I just think that's part of the mystery of this place. I think a lot of people who stay there don't even know that it's there. But once you get inside, you are transported to this weird, wacky pirate alternate reality that is just so awesome and so kitschy and fun. First time I went there with my husband, I had a huge grin on my face the entire time, and I was just looking around like, where are we? Trader Sam's is 21 only. As far as I know, they do not take reservations, but we've never had a problem getting a bar stool or a table there. If you are sitting at a table, just know that you may sit with other patrons, but that's part of the fun. Trader Sam's specializes in tiki drinks, so think fruit juices and rums, and a lot of their drinks come in very cool souvenir glasses. There's tons of sound effects and visual effects. There's submarine sirens going off, and there's volcanoes erupting, and it's just a rowdy, fun, interactive spot. Trader Sam's does serve food. I've actually never ordered any, but if you are hungry while you're there, maybe after having 3 or 4 grogs, you can definitely get a bite to eat. And Trader Sam's, it's just quirky and kitschy, and if you like that kind of stuff, you are going to love it. Definitely worth a visit, in my opinion. Okay, my number 1 pick, and I don't know if anybody can guess what it is, but my personal number 1 pick to get a little crunk or a little cocktailed at Disney is Wine Bar George. Wine Bar George is in Disney Springs. It is located near the Boathouse, and you would think because it's a wine bar, you might think that children are not allowed, but children are welcome there. They can't sit at the bar as far as I know, but you are welcome to make a reservation and sit at a table if you have kids. And that brings me to my top terrific, totally tubular travel tip of the day. And that is, if you are looking to make dining reservations at Disney Springs through the Disney app, and there is not a lot of availability, or there's no availability at the restaurant you want, go to Open Table. Open Table has a lot more availability for the Disney Springs restaurants only than the Disney app typically does. So that's a little hint for you. Wine Bar George also has a full liquor bar, so I want to make that very clear. This is a great place to sample different wines, maybe do a wine flight. They do have food. They've got bar bites, and they also have full meals. It's not a very extensive menu. What we do is we tend to go to Wine Bar George and then walk right across the street over to the Boathouse. So we do Wine Bar George for wine and the best charcuterie and one of my favorite snacks in all of Disney World, and that is their fried mac and cheese balls that have pecorino cheese and in this delicious, delicious rich marinara sauce. They are so good. So we'll have a bottle of wine, maybe a little cheese plate, maybe some mac and cheese balls, and then we head over to the Boathouse for dinner. I found the staff to be incredibly friendly. They have a bar downstairs, and they also have a small bar upstairs. So if you don't see any seating downstairs, maybe ask the hostess if there's anything upstairs. It's a great place, like I said, if you want to have a happy hour, or you're having a little maybe Disney girls trip, or you just love wine. But it is definitely a great spot, and it is by far my favorite place to get cocktailed at Disney World. So that's it. Those are my picks. Again, I would love to hear your opinion. Are there any bars that I've left out? Keep in mind, I haven't been to every single bar at Disney, believe it or not, but that's one of the reasons why I love going to Disney World. There's always something new there. There's always more to explore. I never get bored. So please leave your opinion below. If you like this video, please like it, and please consider subscribing. Like I said, I'm a brand new YouTube channel. I pretty much need all the support I can get at this point. But thank you so much for watching. I'm not sure how you found me, but I'm just glad that you did. So until next time, happy and safe travels. The visit, especially if you're with youngsters who like boats. Something weird just happened with my voice. Let's drink some wine. And just sit, enjoy the views, and just sit and enjoy the views. Good Lord. Cityworks Eatery and Pour House. I can never remember that name. I consider heading over to. I would definitely. Splitsville is located near that was a weird ending, but I don't think I'm just going to stick to it.